Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and the patch notes are out for the latest balance patch, and I've been feeling really under the weather the last few days if you guys aren't aware, and thankfully this balance patch has done really nothing to make me feel much better. I'm not thrilled about it. I don't know if it just I feel like crap or whatever. We're gonna go over it. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with the changes, but overall I feel like, you know, the meta's pretty cool right now. I'm loving the Reno decks, the whole excavate stuff, but the outliers of just the decks that feel like crap, I just don't feel like that's going to change, especially with the Naga change, which I just knew it was going to happen once that talk started. And well, we'll go into all of that. And if you feel like I've earned your subscription, enjoy the content on the channel, please hit that sub button down below, give the video a like. We're super close to 76,000 subs, or at least I think I'm in a little bit out of it the last few days. I'm getting there. I appreciate the support, but still not all the way there. So we had the teaser yesterday. We have the official changes. They should be going live within like an hour or so after this video goes live. And well, what are the changes? Well, there's a dev comment of the team is pretty happy with the launch of Showdown the Badlands. We're seeing players having fun, exploring, having success with a variety of decks and strategies. This is a lighter patch based on early data designed just to hit the biggest feels in power outliers. We'll continue to watch how the meta develop after these changes, after we evaluate data and feedback for next balance patch scheduled for late next week. So there is another patch. So as much as I'm probably gonna bitch, they can make the correct changes next week. Right? Or maybe they're right. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens, right? But again, there are no mage nerfs. There's no warrior nerfs. So that right out of the gate's a little bit scary, and only one nerf for like 3 of the top classes. Anyways, the big, most controversial card, Blind Eye Sharpshooter, is just lost health. It's gone down to a 1-3, and it says, dev comment, Naga Demon Hunter is an outlier, but is also one of the most popular new archetypes from the expansion. So this change is designed to make the deck weaker without killing it. This change still gives players the fun pop-off turn. Yeah, where they literally kill you from in hand on turn 3 and 5. Yeah, that's super fun. Makes it riskier for the Demon Hunter to go in early. So there are more early game decisions and fewer snowballing games. I must live in a totally different bubble of Hearthstone. When they play this card, I die, or I'm super low. I don't have a chance. Like, when I have a chance to react to it, the health of 3 and 5 doesn't matter. It's like, I'm at 2 health, or I'm dead, or I'm at 10 health, and they drew their whole deck, and I gotta deal with this board, and then just go again and kill me. Like, I just don't see the health change making a big difference. Of course it makes a difference. It's something, but at the end of the day, it's not what makes this card so frustrating with a Spite Lash Siren, with a Flame Waker back in the day, of these cards that just can outright kill you by itself. And that shouldn't exist on a 3-drop in my opinion. And it will continue to apparently for now. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So we'll see. Maybe that next patch, if it continues to be as strong as it is, they'll nerf it, but this definitely doesn't help me feel much better. Next, we have Order in the Court, and it's not going from 2 to 3 mana. It's one of the other suggestions I had made yesterday. No longer draws a card, and it says Paladin is one of the strongest classes across most rank levels. Or in the Court is a linchpin across Paladin decks, bring them to the late game and combo pieces. This adjustment makes that transition a little less efficient, I suppose, but it's a very minor change in a class that's very dominant, especially at low ranks, but even top legend, it's still a very dominant strategy, and you don't really hit any of the mana cheat stuff like Prismatic Beams, the Sea Giants, but they don't get that initial draw. That definitely hurts. Will the card still be run? I have no idea. Lore Keeper Polkelt did at 4 mana as a 4/5. It didn't draw a card, and that saw plenty of play, so, and got nerfed, right? So I don't know, we'll see, but it feels very minor for a change to Paladin, which again is seeing really, really high numbers that are, you would argue, is pretty impressive at most ranks. Always a bigger Jormunger, definitely more of the feels card, not super prevalent at higher ranks. Even lower ranks, it's whatever. Dev comment, Hunter is one of the other biggest class outlier that we wanted to weak this patch. Always a bigger Jormunger is one of the strongest cards in the class data, and always one of the most standout cards in terms of play experience. This change makes the deck a little slower and a little less consistent, since this card can no longer be drawn by Tinker Track It, right? So can't tutor as a 1-mana spell. I think it's probably the best of the 3 changes, the 3 main changes here. It's fine. You can still play it, but yeah, it's not nearly as flexible in those, punishing you for playing minion strategies, which we don't love to see in Hearthstone. And then we have the change to the defense attorney. Nathanos is getting its stats nerfed to a 4/4. no mana change, nothing like that, but the added functionality. They said in this patch, we're updating the rules to make Defense Attorney Nathanos work more favorable with cards like Spurfang or Twisted Frostwing and Bovine Skeleton. We think this will work more intuitively for players and it sounds fun. But at the same time, our goal with this patch is slightly weaken Hunter, so we're giving Nathanos a small preemptive stats adjustment to make up this new synergy. So basically, your Bovine Skeleton gets hit by this, it counts as having 4 attack. It'll come back as I think a Bovine Skeleton or Defense turning Nathanos. Same like Spurfang. I think it would come in as a 2 attack, and that's what the Death Rattle would give you from this and not 4. I'm not entirely sure because I like rarely saw the card or played it. I'd have to ask Zeddy on this, but it sounds like, yeah, they buffed the card at its functionality, so they want the attack to be lowered so it's not so insane if you copy one of those Death Rattles. So I think it's a fine change. It's a slower deck anyways, and this card hasn't seen a ton of play, so I think it's fine. And then the Azurite Snake. People are really worried about this one. I feel like people are still going to be mad. So they put it back to 4 mana. It still steals health from the enemy hero, but instead of 10, it steals 7. So they got to play it 5 times, right? You got to play it 5 to steal 35 health, or you've done 5 damage throughout the game. So that's pretty significant, and it's going to slow it down a lot. Our last adjustment to Azurite Snake was a temporary fix that standout play experience outlier. That adjustment and natural meta developments have got Excavate Warlock to about where we want it right now. This change makes Azurite Snake once again match the other legendary Excavate Treasures costs, but keeps the overall clock and cost about the same by requiring 5 activations for lethal instead of 3. So yeah, I think that will do the trick. I mean, already at 6 it did, and you just played it 3 times, but you couldn't bounce it in the same turn. So you could go like Azurite Snake, bounce it, Azurite Snake, and then you could play Azurite Snake, bounce Azurite Snake, and then play Azurite Snake. Like that takes a lot of time. So I'm hopeful that'll be all right, but again, I'm still salty about the Naga card. And then they will be giving dust refunds for Smokestack, Moarg, Drillfist, and Tram Conductor Jerry. Those are the Excavate cards exclusive to Warlock. So you don't get the 2 mana 1/1 or 5 mana 6/4 with Rush, but I believe those are free cards anyways, if I understand correctly anyways. So yeah, am I happy with these changes? I mean, I just don't understand why we play. This is such an unnecessary risk. Like, okay, let's say it magically the health matters and it's okay for the game, then great, but probably not. History has always told us that mana costs increase on like combos like this are the only thing that's relevant, whether it's a Kael'thas, like I've said, a Spitelash Summoner, Flamewaker, or whatever the card be, right? Like those type of cards. Auctioneer, which we just put to 7 mana, and Hall of Fame, put it wild, right? They put it to 7 and still don't want to keep it in standard. It boggles my mind, and I really hope they're correct about it and I'm wrong, but I am certainly worried about it. There's also a bunch of BG changes. I will link this patch notes down below if you want to take a look. And I was looking very quickly through the bug fixes, and I didn't see anything about Elise being actually acquirable still in that whole achievement for collecting all the cards still. So maybe next patch. So again, I didn't see that, but maybe we'll find out later today that that's fixed. So again, let me know if it's just me feeling under the weather, being a little bit, grumpy or whatever. Let me know what you guys think about the changes. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.